Bitcoin is currently dumping massively and we are seeing a break below this symmetrical triangle. Bitcoin is falling below the $98,000 and this is looking very bearish on the Monday. In this video I'm going to tell you exactly why Bitcoin is dumping and what we can expect for Bitcoin in this coming week. There's a lot of interesting data which is causing Bitcoin to dump right now, but also a lot of interesting news and data is hitting the market that looks very bullish and promising for the coming weeks. Later in the video I will also have a look at the two altcoins Solana and Bittensor TAO, so you want to watch this video all the way to the end. Please slap up that like button because it will help this channel a lot. And now let's dive right into the charts. On the 4-hour time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is finally breaking out of this huge symmetrical triangle which I've been telling you about for last week. We saw a lot of touch points on the top side as resistance and on the lower side we saw a lot of touch points as support. Finally, this price of Bitcoin was getting squeezed to an apex and now we're seeing a huge break to the downside, which is causing a little bit of a bearish effect on the markets. But we can also see that the breakdown target is hit and that we are reaching this target right now. So this could also mean that we are seeing a little bit of a bottom unforming and that we're going to see more topside from here. But of course the market is looking a little bit bearish right now. So I will tell you exactly why Bitcoin is dumping, because we can also see that the S&P 500 is dumping right now. And this is all causing because we have a new Chinese startup and it is called DeepSeek and it is competing with ChatGPT and some people say it costs less than $10 million to develop, so this is less than ChatGPT. And as per today it overtook ChatGPT to become the first free app on the Apple App Store. So this is having a little bit of a bearish effect on the Nasdaq. And a lot of investors are selling their stocks right now because they are just panicking, and I think this could be a very good chance to buy more stocks and more Bitcoin, because we are right now below the $100,000 and I think this could be one of the last times that we're going to see Bitcoin below the $100,000. And if we look at the Bitcoin CME gap, I told you on my Telegram group that the CME gap was around the $105,124. And currently we saw that Bitcoin was trading around this level during the course of the week. And we saw that Bitcoin closed the CME gap perfectly at the end of the week. And after that we saw a big spike to the downside and we're now seeing a big sell-off in Bitcoin. So we came all the way from the $105,000 and we dumped all the way below the $98,000. So this was having a very bearish effect on the markets, of course. And this was a decline of more than 6%. So this was very bearish for Bitcoin. But as you can see, the CME gap is now closed, so Bitcoin can trade freely during the course of the week. And on Friday we saw a very interesting thing happening for the Bitcoin ETF flow. We saw an inflow of $570.7 million in total, and that was having a very bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin, because we are seeing a total cumulative inflow of almost $40 billion. So we're coming closer and closer to this target, and of course I think today we will hit this target because it's just $60 million away from this target. So now of course the next target will be the $50 billion in total cumulative inflow. So let's see if we can reach it today or maybe later in the week. And if we have a look at the Ethereum ETF flow from Friday, we saw a little bit of a bullish day. We saw an inflow of $9.2 million and this was all because the Bitwise and the 21 shares Ethereum ETF were buying Friday. So this was having a little bit of a bullish effect on the price of Ethereum, and let's see if this week can as well be bullish for Ethereum and also for the Bitcoin ETFs. And also if we zoom out to the 4-hour time frame, we can see that Bitcoin was in this huge upward sloping support area, and we also saw topside resistance coming into the market. The price of Bitcoin was getting squeezed into an apex and now we're seeing a break to the downside. And yeah, this is having a little bit of a bearish effect. And if we look at this pattern, the breakdown target of this formation will be the $95,000. So Bitcoin could see a little bit more downside from here, and maybe they're seeing a little bit of a bottom unforming. But now we can also see that this huge support area is a little bit coming into play, and we're seeing confluent price action in the past, and we're seeing support and resistance coming in. So this could also mean that Bitcoin is coming to this level, and this could also mean that the bottom for Bitcoin is in for today now. So I think the rest of the day could be very interesting, and also on Wednesday we have the FOMC meeting for the Fed. And this is also an event that will cause a lot of volatility and a lot of price action. And looking at the Bitcoin quarterly and monthly returns, we can see that Q1 is still very bullish. We can see in total returns of 6.88%. So this is a little bit more bullish than bearish, of course. And we can also see that the month of January is also a little bit of a mixed month. In the past, we saw a little bit of bearish months, but the last years were very bullish for Bitcoin. And also we can see that the month of February is very, very bullish always for Bitcoin. So in the past, we can see a lot of green months, and we only saw 2 negative months for Bitcoin in February. So of course, everyone thinks that this year will be very bullish as well. And if we have a look at the 2021, and that was the year of the bull market, we saw that February and March were very bullish. So if we're going to see a little bit of similar returns for Bitcoin in these months, we will see prices above the $150,000, and this is insane, of course. And looking at another 4-hour chart for Bitcoin, we can see this beautiful symmetrical triangles finally broken out to the top side in the last weeks. We saw a retest of the resistance to turn it into support, and now we're seeing a huge decline again. But this huge resistance area that was broken to the top side is now getting retested again as support. So this is a very strong level, and this is also a very interesting level to take in a little bit of longs on Bitcoin and aim for higher targets, because in the past we can see 3 times a touch point as resistance, and now we're flipping it into support. So this is a very strong level, and keep in mind that this could also mean that the Bitcoin bottom is in for now, and that we're going to see more targets to the top side. But of course, keep in mind that Bitcoin could also fall below this level and maybe come to this next support area on the lower side. But I think, as we can see now, this beautiful bounce from this level is occurring. So I think we will see more spikes to the top side as this resistance area is now being turned into support. And yesterday we had also Michael Saylor tweeting about Bitcoin, and he's saying, don't stop thinking about tomorrow. And this could mean that he is going to buy more Bitcoin today, because he was posting this yesterday. So he was posting his the DCA chart and his DCA portfolio, and every time we see a green dot on this chart, it means that MicroStrategy was buying more Bitcoin. So we can see that they bought a lot of Bitcoin at these top prices. So for instance, he could buy more Bitcoin, and this could of course having a very bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin today. So he will maybe buy for more than a couple $100 million worth of Bitcoin, or maybe more than $1 billion. So today we could also see a spike for Bitcoin. And currently his portfolio is at the $45.65 billion, and he is in a total return of 55.8%. So this is insane, of course, and this is a total return of $16.3 billion. And if we zoom all the way out to the weekly time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is still in a huge uptrend. We came from these bear market lows, then we created a huge bull flag, which we broke out of. We retested it, a resistance as support, and then we saw the next spike to the top side. And now Bitcoin is creating another bull flag formation. So if this bull flag is going to break to the top side, we will most likely see the next leg up, and then the real bull market can start. And then we can maybe see prices above the $150,000, and this could all happen in Q1 or maybe Q2 of the 2025. So let me know in the comments, what is your price prediction for Bitcoin in 2025, and do you think we will see a huge breakout of this bull flag formation in the coming weeks? And of course, we could also see that Bitcoin is going to range inside of this formation, just like we saw here after a big run up. So for instance, Bitcoin could also see a break later in this year, but I think we will see a break in Q1, and that means that we will go to exponential highs and we will create all-time highs. And looking at this daily chart for Bitcoin, where we can see that Bitcoin is currently ranging inside of this horizontal range. On the top side, we can see resistance coming into the market, and on the lower side, we can see this huge support area is coming into the market. And between these horizontal levels, Bitcoin is ranging right now. And we can see that Bitcoin is getting rejected by the top side resistance. And there's a possibility that we will come all the way back to this lower side support. And that means that Bitcoin will fall to the $92,000. And if that happens, I'm going to buy more Bitcoin, of course, because I think this support area is holding strong for Bitcoin right now. So if Bitcoin is coming to this green box of accumulation, I'm going to buy more Bitcoin, and my buy orders are already set. So for now, we're seeing a huge rejection coming into the market, but I think that eventually Bitcoin will see a continuation of the price to the top side, and that we will see a break of this resistance area, a retest of the resistance to test it as support, and from there we will aim for higher targets. And then of course we will create new all-time highs, and we will create a cycle top for Bitcoin in this bull market. And the first interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Bittensor TAO. We can see that Bittensor TAO was creating a lot of interesting price action in the last months. Then we saw a beautiful regional top, which was around the $720. So after that, we saw that TAO was going into a little bit of a downtrend, but it looks like we are seeing a little bit of a pattern unfolding. And this descending triangle is having a lot of touch points here on the top side as resistance, and also on the low side we can see a lot of touch points as support. And eventually the price of TAO is getting squeezed into an apex, and yesterday it looked like TAO was going to break out. But we saw a huge rejection coming into the market, and this was all because Bitcoin is dumping, of course. So we could also see that the TAO is going back to this lower side support and maybe see a bounce again from this level. But I personally think that after this beautiful run up and after this consolidation for Bittensor, we are going to see a break to the top side. And if we can confirm the breakout to the top side, we have to wait for a retest of the resistance to turn it into support. And from there, I will go enter the market for a Bittensor TAO in a long. And of course, I also bought Bittensor TAO at these green boxes of accumulation. So every time we came to a lower level, I was buying more TAO for the long term. But of course, after we break out, I will also leverage trade Bittensor TAO to the top side. And the breakout target of this formation will be confluent with the top side of the formation, and that will be around the $720. So from the potential breakout and potential retest, we could see an increase of almost 75%. So this could be a very interesting trade to make on Bittensor TAO. So let me know in the comments, do you hold Bittensor in your portfolio, and what is your price prediction for Bittensor in 2025? And the next interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Solana. On the daily time frame, we can see that Solana was in this huge symmetrical triangle where the price was getting squeezed. We saw a lot of touch points here as resistance. We broke out, we retested this as support, and then we saw a beautiful continuation to the top side. So this was having a very bullish effect on the price of Solana, of course. And if we zoom out to the weekly time frame, we can also see that 2 weeks ago, Solana created a new all-time high. And we can also see that this huge resistance area is coming into play, and this is a little bit too strong for Solana right now. So we are also seeing that the price of Solana is getting rejected by this huge resistance on the top side. And now we are seeing a little bit of a decline for Solana. So of course we could also see that Solana is coming back to this level, or we could potentially come back to lower levels. And also on the 4-hour chart of Solana, we can see that Solana was in a very interesting triangle, and we're getting a price squeeze of the price of Solana. But now we are seeing a huge dump for Solana happening, and this is of course also because Bitcoin is dumping and a lot of other altcoins. So this is having a little bit of a bearish effect, but we can also see that this huge horizontal support is now coming into play again. And first it was acting as resistance, we broke it to the top side, and now we can maybe see that this horizontal level is acting as support, and we can also see a little bit of a bounce occurring for Solana. So let me know in the comments what you think about Solana. Do you still hold Solana in your portfolio? And do you think we will see the $300 in this year? So I hope you liked this video. Please follow me on my X. Don't forget to slap up that like button. And in the description under this video, you can find the links to my free Telegram group, my Twitter, and also my Instagram. I hope you liked this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.